we're speeding.
Lord, please don't let me kill my partner.
Why don't you, man? Just put us both out of our misery. You got in trouble again, didn't you?
We'll talk about this.
No, we'll talk about it now.
Blake.
Something going on at home?
Don't go preacher on me, man.
I'm not going preacher. I'm your friend.
I am alone. Been alone since I buried my first boy. It doesn't matter anymore.
I feel like I'm failing in what I was put on this earth to do. I want to make a difference, like you did.
You can never underestimate the power of grace.
Movement! Police! Cease! We need an ambulance! Miss McDonald?
Shelby Podcast is going to the movies today. Joining us is Dr. David Evans, the producer and director of The Grace Card, the new film that's coming out at the end of February with Louis Gossett Jr. Dr. Evans, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very
much.
much.
Start off by telling us a little bit about your background and what your current occupation is.
Certainly. I grew up in Arkansas, and I went to optometry school from 1990 to 1994 in Memphis, and began my own practice in 1994. Joined up with an ophthalmologist who was practicing in Memphis, and for the last 15 years I've been at Total Eye Care here in Memphis, and I now have one other optometrist and 3 ophthalmologists that work with us there at Total Eye Care in Memphis. Back in 2008, a group from our church, Calvary Church here in Cordova, we went together to see the movie Fireproof, and my expectations were very low because, I think that a lot of the faith-based movies that have been made prior to that maybe didn't quite have the level of production value that many people have come to expect from a movie. But I realized after seeing that movie that night that I felt God had us in training for those 15 years prior to that, because I've been doing a passion play at our church in Cordova for 15 years, and just really felt like God was leading us to do something greater than we ever imagined possible. Our budget for the movie was under $1 million, and we came in roughly around $500,000 for our pre-production and production costs, and of course subsequent to that there were editing costs that we incurred, and some of the final touches that had to be made on the movie. But basically my wife and I prayed for months leading up to the movie, and we just felt God calling us to take this step, because our church really didn't have the money to make a feature film. So we funded the production, and in turn a large percentage of anything we see in return from the movie, should it be successful, will go towards creating a community center on our church campus for outreach and after-school activities and sports. The movie is all about grace and forgiveness and reconciliation. And what we're hoping to convey with the movie is, of course, it's easy for all of us to receive grace, as we say in the movie, but it's hard for us to give it away. So the grace card actually introduces an actual physical grace card that people can use as a tool for reaching out to others and healing broken relationships, be it with a family member, a coworker, or a neighbor perhaps, and just showing people examples of how easy it is to reach out to one another and hopefully make a difference in our society through this movie in some way. Well, the movie, there's a big connection between Memphis and many things that happen in this film. For example, there are some scenes in the movie where Louis Gossett makes reference to Dr. Martin Luther King, and just the fact that Memphis has been the hub of so many civil rights events that have occurred over the last several decades, and we just felt like, not only is our church here, and all the churches that help participate in this movie are located here in town, and we just felt like this was the place where it had to happen, and that's what we were led to do.
David, we were having a meeting the other day, and I just happened to have a copy of Outreach magazine, opened it up, and right there on page 1 is an ad for the Grace Card. Right. Who is handling the promotion for the film, and what other films have they handled in the past?
The movie is being distributed by Provident Films and Affirm Films. This is actually Provident's 3rd theatrical release. First they had Facing the Giants that most of your audience will be familiar with, and also then they had Fireproof back at the end of 2008. This would be the third. The Grace Card is the third theatrical release, which will be out, of course, February 25th. And coming up a few months after that, September of 2011, will be Courageous, their fourth release. Well, I would say it's absolutely a movie for the faith-based audience, but we all know people who need to hear the message of this movie, that need to understand grace and forgiveness, and you know, there's people that will come to a movie theater that will not darken the doors of a church on Sunday morning. So we're definitely reaching out to those folks too, and hoping people will extend grace and invite people in to see the movie with them who need to hear the message as well. They can go to the website, thegracecardmovie.com. There you can look under Find a Theater and know if the movie's coming to your city or not. Certainly if it is, you can go to the theater directly to buy tickets in bulk or reserve a private showing for your church or your business. Many churches many businesses are taking their whole staff to see the movie because, again, they believe in the message. And certainly facebook.com/thegracecard. That's where you can find all the updates on the movie as well and read some of the testimonies from people that are coming around the country who have seen the movie already. And of course, February 25th is opening weekend, and it's just critical that the people support the movie that first weekend, because that's what determines how long the movie will be around for the weeks following the release.
What is there to believe in, man?
You know we in this together, man.
You do, so we think that you're good.
I promise to pray for you every day, ask your forgiveness, grant you the same, and be your friend always. That is the Grace Card.
Reconciling starts with forgiveness. That's the only thing that makes a difference.
I'm so sorry. Please tell me you forgive me.
It's not justice we need. It's grace.
The Grace Card. Coming to theaters February 2011.